Hello and welcome to another episode of Gust of Wind. Steuben here, as always, joined by the scammer Gazer Beam on this side. And today we're going to dive into a few different topics. But Gazer, what's going on, my dude?
Not much, man. Not much. I went to a challenge today. Took first place.
What'd you
playing
play?
Archaladon.
Okay.
Archaladon. That's like my.
That's all you
It's
play.
my baby now.
Yeah.
That's all I play now. I've become Archaladon bot, and it's fine. I like it. It has pretty good matchups. It doesn't have like any particularly like terrible matchups either. I have tough matchups. Charizard's tough. Surledge is tough, but yeah, I like it. It has pretty good matchups. I play well with it. I know my outs. I know the deck in and out too. I like it a lot. It was a weird challenge. I ID'd with the person I hit it in the finals. So I finished 2-0-1. He finished 1-1-1. And there was 6 of us, small challenge, because everyone was at a cup yesterday. So I don't think anyone wanted to play today.
A little bit of burnout.
But yeah, a little bit of burnout. But everyone's resistance and opponent's resistance, or everyone's opponent's percentage and opponent's was 50%. Like just straight across the board, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, just all 50.
That happens with every 6-round tournament, or it's not 6-round tournament, but 6-player event. Just how that's how the math works.
It's so weird. I've never seen that.
There's no avoiding it.
But I took first, won a few packs, got a old school promo. Remember the promo cards you used to get for like getting like first and second, third, and fourth for cups?
I have tons of those.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were rich. My bad.
They're not worth anything.
I hear the Mew. There's one that's like an old Mew.
Okay, yeah, I think I have a first, a second, and a fourth in those. And Emily's got a third somewhere.
So like I said, I didn't know you guys were rich. My bad.
I mean, I never sold cards before. You know what I mean? Like I would just, okay, cool. This is cool. And I put it in a binder in a box and forget about it. Like I said
last, you go looking for something like, oh wow.
Last week, I've been slowly cataloging my stuff in that Rare Candy app or whatever, and like I've got a box that I'm afraid to do because it's full of like black and white X and Y and Sun and Moon playable stuff, and there's like stamped cards and placement cards and just.
So where's the fear? You said you're afraid.
I'm afraid to know how much money I've had of this like beat up cardboard box.
Why? It's still money. I'm sure it's still worth something.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out.
This full art Reshiram?
Oh, nothing like that. No, there's not going to be any full arts. It's all like hollows or trainers or stamp trainers or whatever, promo stuff like that. All those are in binders already, so I mean, problem solved. No fear there. Those are already all taken care of ish. They've been played, but you know, I wasn't always a riffle shuffler until I would say maybe like 4-ish years ago.
When finally you said, F it,
mm-hmm.
We're going in. Okay,
yeah.
nothing wrong with that. I learned how to riffle thanks to Tricky Jim. Shout out Andrew Mahone. He had a video about it.
I thought you were gonna say you learned how to do it from Flex Daddy, the wet shuffle.
Oh, I remember that.
Dip the cards in the water.
What you want to do is didn't they get a water damage in his basement or something like that?
Yeah, isn't that ironic?
Yeah. But now, what's up your way, Steuben? This beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Well,
evening.
It wasn't beautiful. It's quite blustery and blizzardy here today. The weather's been quite bipolar the last couple of days. It snowed, then it rained, it got warm, it rained again, it snowed, and then it's been snowing all day. So the drive to and from work was awful. But today I ran that Gundam event that I was talking about last week. And I guess all the chaos happened before I even got to work today. Some like dude in a big like yee truck was upset that he wasn't going to be able to play because the line was already capped out for capacity. And he got out of his car, I guess, and he's yelling at everybody, "I want to see your driver's license. I want to know where you're from, if you're a local or not." And like the dude has never played at the store before. Like we looked at camera footage and I was like, I've never seen this guy before. So why is this random dude like asking everybody for their IDs? Like, what are you, a cop, bro? Like, get out of here.
So when you got there, he was gone already, though, right?
Yeah, and I got there like quarter to time before we opened, so like 15 minutes before the store opens, whatever. And there's already a line out the door of like 20 people ready to go.
Oh,
And it's also like it's like snowing, like it's blizzarding, dude. Like heavy wet snow coming down, wind blowing like 20 degrees outside. Like it was pretty miserable. And there's 20 of them waiting in line, and
So you have 20-something people waiting in the snow.
And only 16
play
players
Gundam.
could get in and play
Oh,
that thing.
God.
Yeah, because the Bandai capped every store to either 8 or 16. No more, no less.
So you had 4 people who had to just leave and just got snowed on, and they're wet, they're soaking, they're cold.
Our original plan, and since the event was supposed to start at 3 o'clock, registration was going to start at 1 when we first scheduled everything. And so people would have to wait until 1 o'clock to start signing up. And then if they filled up before 3 o'clock, we would have played. But it was blizzarding and there was already people out there. So like we just opened and started immediately. The game looks cool, but the barrier to entry and whatnot is not for me. So
this sounds like another Bandai.
It's all the Bandai games in one. It literally has elements of every single Bandai game. The way to play cards, you need resources are like the Dawn cards in One Piece. The life cards feel just like life or security in Digimon, and life in One Piece, and life in Dragon Ball, and same with Union Arena, except for there can be like a base protecting the life in the front. And then you can play the Gundams, and then you can put pilots underneath them and have the card hang under a little bit, like evolutions in Digimon giving inherited effects. So it's just like it's all of the games in one.
What is Bandai's end game here? What is their goal? Because they just keep releasing card game after card game.
They killed that Battle Spirits game off, so who knows? And I mean,
as soon as they kill off another one replaces it. So I mean,
a lot of the people that were there to play though are like other Bandai game regulars. There was one dude who comes and plays Pokemon who came to play because he loves Gundam. And it's his first time playing a Bandai game, and he was like mind blown by the app, like reporting and getting table numbers and everything. And he's like, wow, this is like easy for you, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, it is. It's not like Pokemon where I have to print out match slips and cut them up and pass them out and have everybody turn them in and manually put them in. Bandai is just like, bing bong, oh, you're at table 3 against insert username here. Don't forget to report your results when you're done. And then like, I know when everyone's done, and I just hit pair next round.
Do you think Pokemon ever get to that?
I wish, man. I know they've been testing stuff with Arcanine at regionals and side events or whatever. So maybe that'll roll out in the near future. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, man. Give us pairings. Give us a way to stop having to worry about using the Tom software. Give us a new software that's connected to an internet app or something, or at least a website. Where we can put tournaments on there and people can sign up that way. And like Bandai does a lot right. They do a lot wrong, but like Pokemon just feels like it's in the 90s still, the way the tournaments are ran.
Maybe that's their niche. Maybe that's their like, hey, this is our thing. We're like a grassroots feeling kind of startup tournament organization when they're really not, but maybe that's what they want to feel.
It feels like it though, because like how out of touch is TPCI? I mean, they are like, oh, we like, it's like living in a glass box, but you can't see the outside. It's like that security glass, just opposite or whatever. Like they live in a glass box, and they can't see that Pokemon is the most popular thing in the world, that there's not enough product on the shelves, and every tournament's the biggest tournament ever because there's not enough space for people to play. Like, just when are they gonna open up their eyes and like, oh wow, we could make a lot of money, when they're already making a lot of money? I don't get it.
Imagine they cared about their client just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. And they're like, wow, this could actually help and make more money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I told you, if I was running live, if I was in charge of developing that, I'd be like, hey, give me the checkbook. I'm going to go hire some of the best game developers from Direwolf. That's where the original PTCGO came from, right?
Yeah. But they could also
some of those guys. I'm gonna bring over
and get somebody else
from
too.
Duel Links, somebody from
Hearthstone,
Magic Union Arena. I'm just everyone come over. You. What's your contract? I'm gonna buy you out. Here, you're part of our staff now. Build this game, make it functional, make it work, make it good.
Like
I would just, because Pokemon has money like that.
And we used to joke before, like about, oh, Disney money, Marvel money, Disney money. Dude, Pokemon makes more money than them by a long shot right now. So
I mean, if I was Disney and I had a trading card game I'm trying to come out with, I'm going to go find the best people of that genre and pay them too. What are they doing? Just if you want to, do you have money? You have a checkbook, use it.
Yeah. You got Walt Disney's rotting brain in a freezer in Cuba or whatever it is.
I thought it was in Florida. Is it Cuba?
Allegedly, they keep it in Cuba so they can feed him children. That's what I've heard. Or was that South Park? Was that South Park?
What type of podcast is this?
It was South Park.
Is this a conspiracy podcast?
I would love to do that. Anybody out there listening want to start a conspiracy fart podcast with me, let me know. I'd definitely be down to talk about things, and we could put on our tinfoil hats every episode.
Now, you know what doesn't add up? Now, how does this make sense to you? Yeah. Oh, man. I can see you going on and on.
Oh, that. Dude, that'd be so fun. Like, I would just come up with the most ridiculous shit. Totally planted, totally BS. But we're not here to talk about conspiracies and how much money Pokemon has. We're here to talk about Pokemon cards and things that have been going on. And
so this isn't card to controllers. Oh, wait, I said that last week.
You did. You already quit beating the dead horse, dude.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Rest his soul.
Rest in peace, Jimmy.
No. Tex came into a stream last week
Did
or
he?
whatever, the week before.
Texas Brown.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was playing, but he popped up for a few minutes, and then back into the shadows.
I miss those guys. Bring them back.
But as of the time of our recording now, it's Sunday afternoon for him on the West Coast. And we had an SPE happen in Puerto Rico.
Special.
It's basically a regional without
Pokemon
money.
event.
It's a regional without money. Same thing.
Regional
Regional
Pokemon
no
event, right?
Basically, sure. I think that's correct. I don't know. It's close enough.
I thought you would know. I didn't know. I was just taking a guess.
Someplace elsewhere. I don't know.
Someplace. There we go. The Pokemon someplace elsewhere event. Anyway, but no. Basically they get prizing, but no cash.
Yep.
But they can go home with booster boxes and packs and all that good stuff. And as far as we know, what's won that one?
So it was a Miraidon that won. And then from what I could see is there was another player that made top 8 with Miraidon. But that's all I could find off of Twitter. There's no PokeStats graphics. There was a stream.
I saw nothing.
But I wasn't able to watch stream. So I ultimately don't know what else went down. I assume there was some Dragapults, some Gardevoirs, some Lugias, and Miraidon, decided to come and win the event again. So it's a repeat of the Mexican regional from last week.
Maybe I misheard, but I heard something about Lost Box or something.
I don't know about that. I have no idea. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. We'll never know because
we'll never know.
Well, I mean, we will know, but by the time this episode rolls out, that information's irrelevant anyways.
So is that something we'll just talk about it on the next podcast, or we'll just act like it never happened?
Yeah, we'll pretend it never happened, just like a lot of other things, like the backflip.
Huh?
Exactly. More importantly,
but no, if that's the case,
go ahead.
Well, no, my bad. No, my bad. Go ahead, Sue.
No, you're good. Let it out.
No, let it out. Okay, well, look, man, when I was younger,
let it out.
But no, I was gonna say if that's the case, and Miraidon did win, and there was one in top 8. And I think it kind of goes to the whole motto of something wins a regional one week, and then next week it becomes like the most played, most popular deck at the next event, right?
Yeah, and I mean the Mexican regional was the first regional or major in this format, and like we're so used to new sets come out or rotations happen, and then like we go into whatever kind of majors, but like we have EUIC this coming weekend. Mm-hmm. And it's not like the first post-rotation event. People are going to go in with information. And will all this Miraidon success push Charizard to pop its head back up? I mean, I don't know.
That was my call for this weekend. I have a buddy who I told you last week he got top 32 playing Lugia at Merida. And then he ran it back with Lugia this week. And you won't guess what his 2 first matchups were.
Miraidon. Yeah.
hmm And at locals this week, he hit. He had one league night he went to, and he hit. I think there's 3 Maridons here, and he hit 2 of them. And he was upset, and he's contemplating life and what to do, and he wants to throw the deck away. And so I can't take this to Puerto Rico. I said, well, in that case, play the counter, play Charizard. He said, Charizard's bad right now. I said, Charizard's not bad. You just have to play it differently. But changes, the way things flow now. But it's not bad. But he just refused to, look at anything else. Thought about Future Box for a second. Pivoted right back to Lugia and then hit Maridons and then just had a bad time. Lost to the mirror and it went all bad for him. But he did get to enjoy Puerto Rico. Went down to the beach, had a good time. Shout out to Mikey. What up, Mikey? And I think that sometimes you play the most popular thing, and sometimes you play what counters the most popular thing. And I think Charizard will be a good Maridon counter right now.
Yeah, Pokemon's unique in the way of like majors because like you can't. They're just like there might be a BDIF, but it's never. It's like it's best deck in event, never format. If that makes sense, like. It's not like other games where it's like, all right, yeah, I can practice this deck and it's guaranteed to be good forever. But like with weakness and just like the way decks work, it just doesn't, it's just always going to change. It's just like it's a flow chart.
For the most part, every deck has had a bad matchup in its lifetime. Charizard was unbeatable for a while, but even then it had some shaky matchups against things like Chin Pao and Giratina. At one point in time, Mew VMAX was dominating everything, but even then it had some shaky matchups and some direct counters. So I think every deck can have there's no deck that has like 100% or even an 80-20 matchup for all matchups. So
yeah. From what I'm actively like looking right now for like results on Twitter.
You found some?
I see that Maridon won, and then there was 2 more Maridon in top 8. One that made top 4 and then 1 in top 8. So that's 3 out of 8 Maridons in that event. And I can't find anything else. I don't know where to look, but it's rough. It's definitely rough.
I tuned into the stream earlier yesterday, not yesterday, but Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. And I had no signal. I forget where it was, but I had no signal. And I'm like, oh, I guess I can't watch some of the stream. So I don't even remember what I clicked on, how I found it. I don't remember. It's all a blur, but there was a stream.
Yeah, it wasn't an official stream though, right? It was like a third party, whatever.
Yeah.
Internet. Yeah. And I appreciate when they do those, but it's also hard to find them too, unless they put them in the right categories and you're like actively searching for it on Twitch. And it's time that if Pokemon wants this to be an esport, in regards of like, all right, you got to be in the top 125 players to go to Worlds, then Pokemon needs to put the initiative forward to broadcast almost every single event that is a major.
Would it cost them? There's no way it would cost them more money to, make it a production and broadcast. Would it? They make money off that, don't they?
So I think it's not. I don't think they make money from broadcasting.
Is it just about the exposure?
There's never advertisements. So it's just exposure. It's them. It's probably a tax write-off.
It could be
for them.
But I'm thinking there's so many eyes on it, so many views through Twitch, through Twitter. Through Twitch. Yeah, Twitch, Twitter. So much engagement, so many views through YouTube. It's got to be some type of revenue coming in. But maybe it's just pennies on the dollar. Maybe it's not enough to actually, offset it. Maybe they do lose money. Maybe it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. We don't know the ins and outs of what actually like goes into the broadcast behind the scenes, and the people that we do know, they probably couldn't tell us.
Oh,
there's probably NDAs involved in contracts and so on and so forth about each event and like the logistics of it or whatever. Like, why is it that the EU events are allowed to stream round 1 all the way until done versus North America events? It's like, oh, let's start at round 3 or 4. Yeah.
That one I know the answer to, and I can't divulge that, but that one I do know that answer.
Well, then say it.
I can't.
Oh, wow.
It's just like we can't say the superb owl.
That's
like last week.
Okay, first of all, we're not even monetized, dog. Like, come on. Just stop. Just stop. We're not like
there's certain things we can't say.
We're doing this to do this. We're not doing this for money that doesn't exist. So if you want to say Super Bowl or Kanye West is a crazy man, then we're perfectly okay to do these things. We're not going to get demonetized because there's no money in the first place.
With this. Joke's on you. We're already broke.
Yeah. It's here we go, South Park again. All right, I'll put all your money in an investment firm and it's gone.
And it's gone.
What do you mean it's gone? I just had money. No, not anymore. So no.
But no, I know I've heard reasons to why you have to start at round 3, and yeah, it's kind of.
There's probably labor laws or yeah. I mean, what we do? It's probably TPCI being cheap and not wanting to pay overtime or whatever. Like, oh, you guys
and if, like you said, if it's just there's probably no money involved in this, so it's just why put out more money when we don't have to? So maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, but biggest media franchise in the world right now, bigger than Mickey Mouse and Jesus himself at this point in time. Like you could probably the old memes of like people showing like a picture, like, okay, here's this picture, and it's like, who is this? And it's like, oh, that's Mickey Mouse. I know Mickey Mouse. Next picture, oh, who's this? Oh, it's Ronald McDonald. And like the next one's like, who's this? And it's like the president. They're like, I don't know. You put Pikachu in that, and like, oh, that's Pikachu.
That's Pikachu. I know him.
It's all Pikachu.
My son knows Pikachu. My grandma knew Pikachu. Pikachu. Yeah, you're right. It's all Pikachu. No, but you think like even if they sent like a 6-man crew out to these regionals, had 2 cameramen, 1 caster, and just went off of that, based off of that.
TPCI, listen. Pay for my flight. I'll take my laptop and my Canon camera and my overhead rig and a microphone and some long extension cords. I'll do it for free. Just pay for my flight and give me a badge and let me in, and I will stream every event and I will cast into the microphone and I'll get people from the crowd to come and join me. We'll make it happen. Hit me up, Daddy Pikachu.
Explain that to Emily. Hey, babe, we're going to Puerto Rico tomorrow. Come on.
She couldn't. School always, so hard to say.
So then explain to her how you have to go to Mexico one weekend, then Puerto Rico to the next weekend, then the following weekend you have to go to like France, and then you have to go to Australia. Oh no, she shrugs.
She wouldn't care if I told her I had an opportunity like that. She'd be like, do it.
Oh, sweet.
She believes in me, unlike you. He left for milk and never came back.
He never returned. Milk or a pack of smokes, man. It's always a milk or a pack of smokes.
Smoking's bad for you. Milk's bad for some people. It's bad for me, but I'd rather drink milk than smoke cigarettes.
If you guys don't know, Subin has... Well, I won't divulge your information.
Shut up.
But no, we don't have all the information. I'm glad some things are coming through, but that is a problem. For these smaller events, I mean, it's not quite a regional, but even for these events, there's interest. People want to know. We want to see.
299 masters from what I saw. Okay. So, I mean, not the biggest event, but I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. 300 players is like an old regional.
I mean, then that used to be, so then that would be what regionals used to be?
Yeah.
300, 400 players? Yeah. Hey, I always tell stories to my locals about how, I forget what regional you said you were doing, but they told you guys to pass out packs of evolutions.
Yeah, it was Indy like 2016 or 2017.
How many people at that region? Do you recall?
Maybe 500 masters.
I thought you were 400, but okay.
And then less than like 100 juniors and seniors combined. And
what a day we live in now.
And like nobody wanted XY evolutions.
I know.
Like they couldn't throw it away. So that we gave it away. Like I literally walked around with a whole case of 6 boxes in my arm with the box cut open and every booster box slashed open. And I'm just like, and you get a pack, and you get a pack, and you get a pack. Oh, you over there. And I whip them across the room. You get a pack. And like, now I'm like throwing like, oh, $30. Oh, this whole box. You want one? All right, cool. That'll be $1,500. They're almost $1,500 a box.
Yeah.
But still. And that's just 7 or 8 years. And I get it. That's a long time in a collectible space, but there was also more players than people that wanted to rip packs back then too. So it was a different ball game.
The before 4 times, man. But I mean, you think Pokemon will wake up and realize that hey, this thing is. And I thought that was the beginning of that this season. They're like, hey, this is starting to become like a big thing. When they started like, actually broadcasting. So remember was it last season or season before, 2 seasons ago? All the European castings were handled by someone else. Remember that?
Yep.
Pokemon did not have their hands on it. It was
Limitless was
Limitless.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon did not have their hands on it. It's Limitless. So when they started casting the UK stuff, shout out to Mike, our editor, they started handing the UK things. I was like, oh, this is good. They're starting to realize this is big. And how after each regional became the biggest one, and then the biggest one, and the biggest, like they're going to realize that this is like a thing now. They have to adjust to it. And I just haven't seen enough adjustments.
No, because if you remember at the beginning too, the season specifically, they were like, hey, sure, it's going to be hard to go to Worlds and you got to be top 128 or whatever, or top 125. Sorry. We're going to do this championship point reward system. So even if you can't go to Worlds, you can keep playing all season and get some sweet stuff. And we still know nothing. We know nothing.
They even said nothing. They even said, hey, play points will matter this season too.
For what?
Nothing. Also, there's gonna be a chance to play online, and that's gonna make a difference and do something. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. They're dropping the ball. They really are dropping the ball, and like, I know we love the game for what it is. Don't get us wrong. We love the game, and we love what it is, but the way things have been from TPCI and TPC, it just is. It's not at the level of where us casual-ish folk want it to be. And it's like, you're a top 2%er or whatever. You know what I mean? And then great.
Yeah.
And that's just like the way the world is too, with like, the economy and everything. Like if you're not at the top, what are we doing? That's the vibe I feel. Like if they would have announced the point thing fully at the beginning of the season, I might have actually applied myself and went to some cups and challenges. I would have driven an hour or two and played in some events as like if I knew what I was playing for. And maybe they'll be cool. Maybe the things will be cool, but
sleeves, a playmat, maybe.
Oh boy, the same crap that nobody wants anyways. They give us at regionals.
Maybe it's a champion playmat.
Oh, wait a minute. We already have those. They're called from League Cups. And nobody likes those either.
Maybe it's sleeves from EUIC or something, NAIC. I don't know, man. It's got to be something.
Like leftovers?
Leftovers?
That would be the biggest slap in the face if they just like give us leftover stuff. Like, hey, those Gita promos from last year that everybody really wanted? That's what you're playing for. Here's some Gita promos.
Yo, regional Gita promos? Cool.
What is it they're giving out right now? Surfer?
Yeah.
Surfer's not a bad card, but maybe it'll see play.
One of my locals said Surfer's going to be very like a top tier supporter after rotation, and I laughed in his face.
Well, I don't know about that. We already have post rotation tournament data as of this weekend too, with the Champions League.
We do,
and
Champions League happened this weekend, and what won it?
Buckle your seatbelts if you're in a car. Sit down, have a seat. But Feraligatr.
What?
Feraligatr won the Champions League, the first major event of the rotation right? With the Journey Together cards. And Hiromu Sasaki won with Feraligatr.
Hey, nice pronunciation. You pulled that off. Good job.
It's fine. I may or may not have grew up watching anime. No, I'm kidding. I have been watching the new Dragon Ball Daima. Holy crap, that's so good. But no, I've
watched 2 episodes in sub. Sub. I have to watch it dubbed.
Oh, the last 2 weeks, the one from this past Friday and the week before. Peak animation. Like it is.
Hey, don't ruin it.
No, I won't. I just like there's fights. It's Dragon Ball. Okay, I'm not spoiling anything, but like just the animation of these two fights or whatever in these episodes, just so good. Like, dang it, Toriyama, why'd you have to die? I want more Daima.
Come back.
I want
We
more
want more.
Daima.
Come back.
And like it ends in 2 more episodes, and like I want more. I want more. Like, forget Super. I want more of this. But all right, anyways, Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards.
Oh, that's right, Pokemon. That's right.
But yeah, this deck played a 3/3/3 line of Feraligatr with the spicy tech, and this card popped up all over in these top 16 lists.
It makes no
Melodic EX. Melodic EX seems to be important all of a sudden, as well as some Farigaraphs and some other decks. But this tournament had like also a few not Japanese players in it too.
Tord Reckless?
Yeah, Tord got 4th place, and I think he played the same 60 as Rahul Reddy as well, who are both participating in this event. So I don't know if they, got an address in Japan and started getting mail there to sign up. No, it's as easy as getting a phone number and make an account one time and you're in. But the fact that Feraligatr was the deck that won.
Makes no sense, man. I've had locals here talk about Feraligatr for about 2 weeks because, it popped up online.
Yeah.
And our boy For the Win made a video about it. LDF, our other boy, made a video about it. So I watched the videos. I'm like, this deck, there's no way this deck is real. I think the Slow King deck is more real than Feraligatr. And I played Slow King to a challenge, and I had fun. And it's fun. It feels real. It feels like I can do some things. If I look at Feraligatr, I'm like, there's no way. It's too complicated. Too many moving pieces. Too combo heavy. There's no way. And lo and behold, I look at the stream and I tune in, and Azul is watching the stream, and there's Feraligatr, and then another time there's Feraligatr. I'm like, it's popping up. It's here. And I've seen Slow King once, and I was happy about that. But Feraligatr was constantly popping up, was constantly winning games, it was doing well. And yeah, it beat a interesting Dragapult Goldengo list, which I see the synergy in that deck too. But yeah, it beat that. And that Milotic, it walls the Dragapult. It can wall Charizard if it hits it. It walls other Terra Pokemon. And then, like you said, Farigiraf. Farigiraf stops what? EX, basic EXs, right?
I'm sorry, what'd you call it?
Farigiraf.
Oh,
there's Girafarig and there's Farigiraf. Farigiraf.
Fridraft.
Yeah,
no.
Farigiraf.
Oh my God, Gazer.
Farigiraf.
That's better.
Yeah, it just seems like for Farigiraf, it seems like Farigiraf is like a thing now. It blocks the basic EXs, right?
Yeah, it does block the basics. And then the Melodic EX stops Terras, yeah. So between...
And then, of course, there's Mimikyu, which stops all rule, the EXs and Vs and all the big boys.
Yeah, this list is most likely what Tord was playing, but it wasn't the walls. This was more of like a Terra box. But the wall decks are like, there's the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, you've got the Melodics, you've got the Farigiraf. This one played Monkey Dory to move damage around and Pokevital, which I never thought I would say that Pokevital topped an event, but alas, here we are. I mean, like you mentioned, the second place deck is Golden Go with Dragapult. It's a 2/2/2 line of Dragapult with a 4/4 Golden Go. And I can kind of see the synergy, mostly because you already play all of the energy anyways. Energy Search Pro is more alive with you playing more copies of Psychic and Fire. They were using Crispin, and of course, like the Recon Directive on the Dragapult or the Dracloak just is effectively more coin bonuses.
Yeah, many coin bonuses.
It's coin bonus plus 1-ish. Depending on what you can see or whatever. So you're able to cycle through a lot more. And I mean, Golden Go has to adapt with the rotation too, because no more Greninja, no more Palkia. So, I mean, I think this is a cool list. Well, is this the best way to play Golden Go or Dragapult? I don't know.
Time will tell.
But
we don't know.
What does this deck do against those wall decks?
Yeah, it cries.
Cornerstone stops them both. Melodic stops...
No, Cornerstone doesn't stop the Dragapult. It stops the Goldengo, right?
Cornerstone just says no EXs.
No, Cornerstone says abilities.
Oh, ability. Yeah, Pokemon with abilities.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Melodic for the Dragapult.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Mimikyu or whatever for both. And just like, is this the way to play it? Because like you're gonna have to like consistently like boss around or Gust.
You got to bounce around. You got to do a lot of pivoting. You know, switch out your attackers, and Goldango's not the easiest thing to move. And when you're using, getting Dragapult out the way, you're losing energy. But I see the synergy because Dragapult has a hard cap on damage. If you're 200, that's it. That's the max. Maybe if you have a Defiance Bear and you're behind 230, but that's it. Goldango can blow something up. So I seen it's like the same idea of like Dragapult with Charizard. Charizard ramps up damage, can hit harder when Dragapult can't hit that hard. But I think this gives you a instant like discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies, 300 blow up, something like that. And Dragapult can clean up. I get that. But if you hit a wall deck, like you said, the pivoting becomes difficult. The gusting becomes difficult. You have to definitely play that matchup meticulously because you can't put damage counters on the Milotic, but you can put them on the Mimikyu. But then they play Pokevital, so they'll heal off some of the damage, and then they'll scoop something up, and it's a whole lot going on, a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. Now if the Melodic's on the bench, you can place counters on it. Because it's not doing damage.
I don't think you can.
Yeah,
can you?
Yeah, you can.
Pull up Milotic. No, pull it up.
I bought one today. Hang on. I saw these lists and I was like, hang on. I work at a card shop. No, realistically, I was just like, I bought all of them so no one else can use them against me. No, I need them for my coaching sessions with the kids, but I bought Melodic. With Sparkling Scales is the name of the ability. Prevent all damage and effects. Oh, I guess, yeah, never mind. All right, damage and effects. Okay, so that covers both bridges. Done by Terra Pokemon. And then Farigiraf's ability is Armor Tail. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your basic Pokemon EX. So
hold on. You bought both today?
I bought all of them that we had in the store.
Buddy, Cal, what is your plan here?
Well, there's a deck. There's a deck that has all of them.
But what? Come on.
Well, the kids printed out all of the proxies for me. Well, their parents did. Okay. So I need to be able to build all the decks because they're going to Atlanta, and that's going to be the first, North American like.
So it's for testing purposes.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to hand them the deck and say, "Here, go wreak havoc in Atlanta." That's terrible.
I mean, I could. They're also juniors and seniors, so like, if they get sweaty on these deck lists,
imagine a kid? Can you imagine a 7-year-old crying? I can't hit it. I don't know what to do. I can't get it.
You'd be surprised. It's not always like that. It's funny though, because like, there's been a bunch of like One Piece players that have been building Pokemon decks at the shop, and they haven't come in to play Pokemon on Pokemon Times yet. But at the Gundam event today, one of the guys, like I said, plays Pokemon, and I told him like, oh yeah, some of these guys here that are playing today have been building Pokemon decks. And he's like, why haven't they come yet? And I was like, I think they're afraid of Chucky. And he's the 10-year-old that's like 20th or whatever in points right now. Because
that kid's good. I don't play him.
Well, it's because like I was like, hey buddy, do you want to opt into Masters prizing today and play in the Masters division? And he's like, yeah. And he went 4-0 and won $50 in store credit. So all these grown ass men are terrified of a 10-year-old.
I've been there. I've had, last year when I was a senior, and she had some grown men, afraid of her as well. When she was really rolling with her Gardevoir deck before rotation, she lost a Shiny Arcana. When she was really rolling with that, she had people afraid to play her. She was giving up wins to people. It's like, I already won my division because I'm the only senior, but you can have the win if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
In the minute, like they're trying, they're prideful. So like, no, it's okay. But they want the win, but they can't take it from a little girl who just beat them. And they're like, it's okay. And like she denied somebody one time going in the top cut, and it bumped me up in the top cut. I'm like, thank you, Manaya. And I took second place in that cup. But yeah, she bumped me up. I'm like, thank you, you helped me. That's so awesome. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I've had it yesterday at a cup. One of my buddies, shout out to Julio, grown man was upset, was crying because he ran into a wall deck and he was playing Dragapult. And he just straight pure Dragapult with Dusknoir. And he's just like, what do I do? He has 2 Milotic down. How do I win? I'm like, I don't think you do. And he was upset. He was mad. He went 2-2 at the cup, and he was really upset about that. So this kind of deck can make a grown man cry. So I can imagine what it does to kids or just anyone in general. It's something that you definitely have to plan for now. Something you have to know matchups for. You definitely have to think outside the box to defeat it.
I mean, if we look, the for Alligator deck played Melodic. We go down to the other top 4 deck here with Chansey and Blissey to use the Blissey to move the energy around the Happy Match or Happy Switch or whatever it's called.
Happy Switch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this also played 1 Cornerstone, a 1/1 Melodic, and a 1/1 Farigiraf. And then we go down to the next place, and here we go. There's the Cornerstone Farigiraf, blah, blah, blah. We skip over towards next deck. And then here we go. We got Cornerstone, Melodic, Farigiraf. Next deck, Melodic, Farigiraf, Cornerstone. And then, hey, we got Charizard. We got Charizard. Charizard's back. And this one just foregoes the Pidgeot. But just looking down a little bit more, we see some of these Terra Box decks, and then more walls, and then a Bolt deck. And then the only new-ish archetypes were in top 16. We have 1 Ends deck, and then 1 Flareon deck.
I mean, last week, the week before, there was another City League, and I think a Flareon Eevee concoction deck did well there too, didn't it?
City leagues are like the equivalent of a smaller cup,
like a regional, right?
Champions League. Champions League is like a regional or a nationals.
Yeah, but there's a City League though where there's a Eevee deck that did well, and I found that surprising.
Yeah, so I mean, and I think more people would probably, other than online events, I think more people would play Flareon Eevee. I think they would, but the problem is it's kind of a rogue deck to spend $12 a copy for an EX on. And to some people, sure, whatever.
2 Flareons, 3 Flareons.
You need 2 or 3 Flareon and 2 Eevee, and then maybe a Leafeon, maybe Espeon, maybe whatever other one you want to tack in. But I couldn't justify the price to play a meme deck.
No.
If they were $5, sure. Get everything for $20.
If the product was readily available and I could just buy it and just, hey, I pulled a couple of those already. Yeah, I'll take it. Sure. But not the case.
Yeah.
It's coming from one of the hottest sets, hard to find sets of extremely. The set is being scalped. I'll just say it's being scalped. I'll try to put it nicely. It's being scalped.
We talked about this last week.
And we did. Yeah. But it's coming from one of the sets that's, one of the most scalped, sought after sets. And the base rare of this card is $11-12.
Yeah.
If it was readily available, it was just like, booster packs. If it was just like a $5 card, no problem. But yeah, I can't see myself paying that much either for a rogue meme deck.
And we've had EXs cost money before like this, but they were good. Gardevoir was money at first. Charizard was money until the reprints came. Yes. And Charizard probably would have stayed money if the reprints didn't come. And technically the Eevee and Flareon got reprinted. They're in the surprise boxes. Oh wait, you can't get those either. And you have a 1 in 9 chance to get the one you want. So we're in a weird time with that. So the see that it did make top 16 and we've seen it have online success. This is definitely a real deck. It's got the knockdown line in here with the fan rotoms and all your Eevee and everything. They're all Terras. So you're consistently able to just all right, cool. I can nest ball the Eevee in, and then I could start using Jewel Seeking on my next turn. And then, oh, cool, I can evolve it into the Flareon after I've used my Trumpet on it and powered it up. So it's a cool deck. It's got some plays. The Flareon hits for good numbers. The Black Belt pushes it up into the next step of damage too. So I think it's a fine deck, but the fact that you just can't sleeve it up and play it on the willy-nilly.
Yeah. No, I agree. I can't go that far to say it's a fine deck, but I guess there's some.
It's got potential. It's got potential.
I can't call it a fine deck, man. I can't go that far.
I think it's got potential. I think it would be a much more explored option in person post rotation if the price was a little bit more justifiable. And then the only other new card-ish deck is this Ends Zoroark / Darmanitan deck, and I mean, like the Clefairy's popped up in a lot of these lists. The Lily's Clefairy,
I've seen it.
and
I've seen Lily's Clefairy, and
and that's a good counter for Dragapult. It's a good way to hit Raging Bolt, but it also just gets one shot by both, no problem. So it really depends. I think it's more of a Dragapult counter than anything, but even though Dragapult can just eat it alive. But this was the
I've
only...
seen it pop up in some of the lists from the city leagues I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And they're running it with like a different Terra Pokemon. So they can expand the bench a little bit, do some damage, use that what's it called? Fairy Rondo or Psychic Rondo, whatever it is. Cute Rondo, something. But yeah, they're using that for more damage. It's what's it, 20 plus 20? For every Pokemon?
Yeah, and so most of these decks look like this. There's the Teal Mask Ogrepons,
there it is. Yeah.
some Sob Ogrepons, you got your Pikachus, and then of course the Noctowl package. So hey kids, if you don't have full art Noctowls now, all these lists out here, we can bring back Stonks real quick. Buy your full art Noctowls, get your Pokeball Master Ball Noctowls and Hoots, and get ready for that.
I miss Stonks.
Yeah, but Stonks can come back right now.
I miss where they're from.
No one misses that. No one misses that.
If anyone's watching this on YouTube and you missed the segment that we used to do called Where They From, please comment. Let Stupid know.
And if you don't like that segment, also comment and let Gazer know.
But no,
if you're already commenting too, while you're at it, hit that thumbs up, do us a favor, and subscribe.
Also subscribe if you're not subscribed. Please.
And if you're watching,
ring the bell, right?
Ding the bell. It's like going to Long John Silver's. Ring the bell if we did well or whatever.
That's what that bell was for? I never knew.
Yeah. If you had a good time.
It's just a bell in there. I never knew.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, man. We have one Long John Silver's left in our city. We have one.
Those chicken tenders are fire, dude.
I like the shrimp and the cheese curds.
Yeah.
Anyway. No. The Ends deck, Ends Zoroark, it looks like it has some potential. At first, I didn't quite see all the potential of it. Now I see it with Ends PP up. I said PP up. But with Ends PP up and with the Darmanitan, I could see the potential in that and how that could work. What I'm surprised is the lack of hop. We've had how many just one champions, but we had how many city leagues and how many, lists coming out. And if you go to Pocketbook, you can see the different lists. Hop is not topping the way I wanted to top. What's going on with Hop?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think the Zacian is cool, but you just need so much other stuff too. It just feels too linear.
That disappoints me because I was really excited for that. I made a whole Twitter post about it. I had a whole plan out. I was gonna use Hop's bag and get this down and grab this one, and then if they don't knock me out, I'll pick it up with like a Toro or a Penny, and oh man, I had a whole plan, and it's disappointing.
It's just, I think it's also too early for us. I mean, Japan favors weird decks, aka the walls dominating this, and the Feraligatr, but okay,
for Rig Giraffe.
Yeah, for Fergiraffe just says shut up to that deck. It's over.
Yeah.
What can that deck do? And you gonna attack with Snorlax? Come on, man.
Yeah, so I guess you have the Cramorant if they ever take a knockout.
Yeah, sure.
And just 120, 120. If that's still not even a knockout. Oh, I guess with all the buffs, it's okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I talked myself back into it. Because I was hopping off of Hop. I was going to hop on Ethan. That does not sound correct. But you know what I meant by that, though.
And Gazer's been canceled once again. 13th time's a charm.
I was going to play Ethan's deck. We got the reveal last week or 2 weeks ago of Ethan's Ho-Oh and a few other cards like that. And it looks really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's further down the line for us. That's going to be in May?
Mayish, yeah.
So...
But I mean, we still have other cards coming out from that set too. Destined Rivals, I think it's called, or
yeah, we'll pull those up after we finish talking about the Champions League. So don't get too ahead of yourself.
I just wonder what a Hop is, man. Where's the Hop?
He same place he is in Sword and Shield, man. He's losing. He's losing. he's just an NPC. But yeah, the only other real standout, man, is the Terra Box deck. This one here is Tords with the 2 of each of the Ogre Pawns, the good ones, a Pikachu, a Mew, a Clefairy, a Latias for the retreat. You've got your Fez. You've got double Fan Rotom. You've got a 4/4 line of Noctowl, and then playing one of those Hoot Hoots is the one with the ability that it can't go to sleep, I believe. The common one that was in Prismatic. And then there's
the 80 HP one.
Yeah,
like,
the
why?
80 HP. And then a Terapagos and the Blood Moon or Saluna. And the rest of it is just like energies, energy switch, Crispins for acceleration, and Sparkling Crystal. So everything can literally attack for no effort. Like a turn attachment, a Crispin, and an energy switch, and like Pikachu swinging. It's kind of all over the place. I mean, like Clefairy can attack with technically one energy if you go Ogre Paw and energy switch into it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it just streamline whatever your opponent's playing, find a counter for it, and then get it back with Night Stretcher, rinse and repeat, and go from there. I think it's a pretty solid deck, and the walls being popular is maybe why it's like this and the walls deck are the most popular two decks out of this event.
I guess the answer to Mimikyu here is the Rotom. I guess. Do you just hard? Oh, I guess Clefairy gets by the Milotic. I'm trying to see what's all the outs here.
Mew can technically also copy Milotic and attack with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, with the E switches, I guess it's okay. I guess it's doable.
And Blood Moon.
Oh yeah, Blood Moon come in and swing. Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing some merits to this too. But why the 80 HP Hoot Hoot? That's the part I can't figure that part out.
I don't know. You can grab it with fan call. So maybe there's something that they were thinking about that we didn't. Hard to say.
I mean, it is Tord. It could be. Yeah, he could be onto something there.
Yeah, you can't flush the Tord, man. It's too big. It's really hard to say what else he's cooked up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. One traditional Dragapult list. We saw the Charizard in here that didn't play Pidgeot. It's using the Noctowl package.
Yeah, I've seen that list. I ran in that list the other day. One of my locals are playing it, and it was pretty nice. You put down the turtle, the Tropicos, and you use the Noctowl instead to go get what you need. It's kind of nice. I like that Charizard with the turtle.
And then there's a Raging Bolt that also uses Noctowl and Hoot Hoot. So I mean, get your Hoot Hoots and Noctowls now. Maybe get some Golden Go.
Future.
Get your fur alligators out of the bulk bin. Who knows?
Giraffes.
We'll see what happens with these cards going forward out of the Champions League once we rotate in April. But I mean, we still have we have EUIC this coming weekend. There's probably another regional or two across the world or some SPEs before we rotate. So it feels like an eternity from now still.
Mm-hmm. There's time. Plenty of time. All right, students, we're heading over to justinbasil.com. And shout out to Justin Basil, by the way. Wonderful guest we had before. He takes care of proxies for a lot of things that we get, and he go ahead and prints them out, but makes sure so we can print them out. And we had a few cards revealed in the last couple weeks. And I touched on it earlier. Ethan is like, I feel like that's where it's at. And I was thinking that until last night when they showed some of Cynthia's new cards.
Yeah, some of these are really cool. We'll just go through the order here. We'll start with Ethan's stuff. We've got the Quilava with Adventure Bound. Once during your turn, you search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. And
but Sylvan, what's the Ethan's Adventure? What does that do?
We'll get there. And then we have the Typhlosion with Buddy Blast. It does 60 more damage for every Ethan's Adventure with a base damage of 40. So if you get 4 copies in there, you're hitting for good old 280 damage.
280?
So not the worst. You can put a choice belt on there, choice band, maximum belt, whatever the heck it's called, the A spec. That's it, and hit 330 if you have all 4 copies in the discard pile.
280 could also take out V stars if they were still around. Yeah,
they're already gone. By the time we get these cards, they're already gone.
I know, we're long gone.
And then we have Ethan's Macargo with Melt and Flow. If it has no energy attached, it has no retreat cost. Cool, so a free retreater. And then for 3 fire, it does 70x discard up to 5 energy from this Pokemon. It does 70 times the amount that you discard in each way. And
what is 7 times 5, Stupid?
350.
350 damage off a single prizer.
Yep. So this guy can knock out anything as long as you can get 5 energy on it. And well, how do you get 5 energy on it?
How do I do that, Stupid?
We have Ho-Oh with Golden Flame. Once during your turn, you may attach up to 2 basic fire energy to one of your benched Ethan's Pokemon. So Ethan's whole archetype here is just basically fire. He's got a Pichu. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't it like draw 2 cards?
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. And Ho-Oh itself, 230 HP on a basic EX. A little bit more on the chunky side for a basic EX. We usually see 210, 220 on average. 230 is a little higher. And for 4 fire, it does 160 and heals 50 from each of your Pokemon. So healing 50 isn't the worst. You know, if you're playing into like Dragapult and they're spreading damage, you can kind of like mitigate that. Maybe it turns off some Dust New More shenanigans over time. Who knows? But the Ho-Oh feels more of like a way to accelerate energy onto the Macargo, as maybe the Macargo's an attacker. And then we'll skip all this down and we'll go to Ethan's Adventure. Search deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon or basic fire energy. Reveal them and put them in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So this could literally get you Ho-Oh into fire, and Ho-Oh can instantly accelerate. You can grab 3 fire. If you already have 2 Ho-Oh in play, you can accelerate that way. So between this and some earthen vessels, I think this is a cool engine. And if you, for whatever reason, want to play, you know, the stage 2 of the Typhlosion, then you can technically hit 280 on a single prizer with 4 in the bin. Early game, it's not a bad choice either, but then you're gonna end up playing rare candies. I think the Typhlosion line.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to, but I
think
think
the Colavas.
I think the Typhlosion line is just kind of whatever.
Well, hear me out. I thought the same thing. I saw the Typhlosion, thought no mind about it, like whatever. The Colavas are, you know, what's going to give me the Ethans, and then I have to get fire. I'm like, I can make this work. And then I had someone on Twitter, because I posted a whole, you know, thing on Twitter again, you know, my ideas, and this could do this and that. And someone's like, hey, check out Cornerstone Ogerpon. I'm like, oh crap, Cornerstone Ogerpon. And then another, you know, Twitter user posted the Typhlosion. I'm like, oh, duh, the Typhlosion. So I think there's merit to having like a one of in there, maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, if we didn't lose Thornton or whatever, like you could use the Ho-Oh and like put energy on something and then like change that into like a colorless or whatever, something that just uses colorless. But yeah, I think you do have to play that. And then Ethan's last Pokemon, like you mentioned, is the Pichu. Sparking Draw for 30 for free and draws a card. And like all the other babies, no retreat. So it's a cool pivot. I mean, the Macargo is technically a pivot too. So it's a cool deck.
Yeah, and then outside of Ethan, we have Misty, right?
Yep, everyone's favorite person who complains about bicycles.
Did she ever get one back from Ash? I don't know.
Probably. I stopped watching.
Oh, buddy, you missed XY?
No, I watched XY.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Misty has a Psyduck that I did not understand the ability at first. I was confused to why you want to do it, and then you look at her Gyarados, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense. But so Misty Psyduck had the slapstick jump or something like that, right?
Yep, slapstick jump. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard the bottom card of your deck. If you do, discard all cards attached to this Pokemon and put it on top of your deck.
Yeah, I was like, what?
We move over to the Magikarp with Incredible Dive. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Cool. It's got, you know, some protection.
A bench barrier. Yeah.
And then we get to the Gyarados with Splashing Panic. Discard the top 7 cards of your deck. This attack does 70 damage times the amount of Misty's Pokemon you discard this way.
And then I saw how it works. The Gyarados can do major damage.
Yep, you buddy poff in the Psyducks. You put them on top of the deck. You discard all 4 of them, and you're hitting for 70, 140, 210, 280 for a single energy on a stage.
And that's
1.
just off of 4. What if you discard another one?
Yeah, you could get lucky and hit other Gyaradoses or Magikarps. And there aren't any other Misty's cards that we're aware of yet.
Yet is the key word.
So maybe there will be more, maybe there won't be, and this is just going to be self-contained to the 3 of these. We don't know, because these are just all slowly dripping out from Japan right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can understand the side at first. I can understand the side at first, but after I, thought about pairing it with the Gyarados, like, okay, I get it. But it seems like a meme at most, doesn't it? Interesting, but it just seems kind of meme. You're like decking yourself out. You're discarding at least 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 cards a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're milling yourself out. I don't know.
So we also have Steven's cards and Marnie's cards. We've seen Marnie's Grimmsnarl technically before, and it's just kind of whatever. So these aren't new releases for us, as well as the Steven's cards are just kind of basic right now. There's nothing too crazy other than the Metagross.
His Metagross is pretty cool.
Yeah, 340 HP on a stage 2, so one of the big ones. And the ability X-Boot. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy card and a basic Metal Energy card and attach them to your Psychic or Metal Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. And then for a Metal and 2 colorless, it has Metal Stomp for 200 damage. This thing has a 3 retreat cost, which is quite large in terms of competitive play, but the HP makes sense. The damage output isn't completely there, but the energy acceleration is kind of cool, and it's unlike the Ethan's Ho-Oh, it's not limited to accelerating the energy to Steven's Pokemon. It's just Psychic or Metal Pokemon. So maybe there's a niche for this elsewhere that we haven't been able to like take the time to test and adapt to. Other than that, the Beldum and the Metang, just kind of basic, generic evolutions. And then we've got the Skarmory. Pretty straightforward here. Sonic Double's cool. We've seen this attack before. 50 damage to your opponent's Pokemon. And again, post-rotation, there's no more Manaphy. There's no more bench barrier other than like Terra Pokemon. So it's not the best. It's not the worst.
We have Rabska.
Yeah, the Rabs. Yeah, it's a bug. It's a bug holding poop, dude. Come on. And then we have Steven's Carbink with Stone Palace. As long as it's on the bench, each of your Steven's Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks. This effect does not stack. So 30 reduced by 30 makes the Metagross even more tanky. The Claydol just hits for 220 and whatever. I don't know what I ultimately feel about these yet. Maybe there's going to be... I think what they're going for is
with the Claydol Metagross, you attach to the Claydol 220 every turn, 220. I think that's what they're trying to go for.
But right? In that point, you're setting up a stage 2 and a stage 1.
Yeah.
And you're heavily reliant on getting that energy into your hand. I think there's just too many pieces of that to make it like a consistent strategy. So maybe there's other stuff that we're missing that we haven't seen yet, or a supporter or whatever. Because again, the only ones of these that have named item cards from this release are Ethan's Adventure, the supporter, and then once we get into the Cynthia cards, we'll talk about the tool card for that. And the big whammy here for Cynthia, everyone's favorite champion. What did you think I was going to say?
Champion. Oh, okay. Champion. I thought never mind.
330 HP on the Garchomp, fighting type, with 2 attacks. Spiral Dive for 1 fighting. It does 100, and you may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. Not bad setup kind of thing. We've seen attacks like this before. Reminds me of the old Lucario EX.
I was going to say Lucario.
Back in the day.
That's what I was thinking of.
And then we've got Dragon Buster for 2 fighting for 260, discarding all energy from this Pokemon. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but also this Garchomp has free retreat because Garchomp's always fast for whatever reason. And to amp that up, we have the Gabite, the stage 1 with King's Call. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Cynthia's Pokemon, reveal it, then put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is going to help you set up more of the Cynthia stuff. And what makes that Garchomp a little bit better is the Roserade.
Oh my gosh.
With
that glorious chair.
Glory Yell. Your Cynthia's Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. This one doesn't say that it doesn't stack. So if you get 2, 3, 4 Roserade in play, you're going to hit for an extra 30, 60, 90, 120. And then that Garchomp's 260 is now a 290. It's now 320. It's 350, so on and so forth. I think this is
I think you really only need 2 in play, realistically.
2 in a Vitality Band, man, would be 330 if you need to hit 330. But the tool that you want on the Cynthia's Pokemon is Cynthia's Power Weight. The Cynthia's Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 70 HP. And so that turns your Garchomp into 400 hit points. And you're discarding the energy when you attack. But hear me out. Are we going to get Max Potion back?
No.
If they would give us Max Potion with this, that would be pretty disgusting. 400 HP.
We're getting Super Potion, aren't we?
Yeah, Super Potion is definitely a thing. Oh, hey, you could play Pokevital. But yeah, I mean, your Roserade now has 200 HP to keep it alive a little bit longer. You can bench your Gibble and not have to worry about them going like, all right, Hawlucha, ping it over, use Alakazam, move it over, and then like, Dragapult you to death. You can now put that tool on there, and now you've got 140 HP on a basic Pokemon that evolves. I think the Cynthia's cards are fantastic. That's very well designed. She's a super fan favorite, so I see why Garchomp always gets the love. What do you think?
No, Cynthia's a huge fan favorite. You're exactly right. So her cards should be. I mean, it's just like N. Mm-hmm. Everyone's still trying to figure out why Hop ended up with such, what could be such a good archetype. No one understands that. It's Hop. But yeah, Cynthia, and Ethan's going to surprise too.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cynthia deck, there's definitely synergy. I don't think we're getting any type of Max Potion. We have Super Potion on the way. Maybe Hyper Potion comes back. But I think these cards now have caveats where you have to discard an energy to play this card. That was the little trick with Max Potion. It just said discard all energy. Heal all damage from the Pokemon, then discard all energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have to meet the condition of having energy attached. Now these cards read like Hyper Potion, before it rotated out, what is it, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
You have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon.
Yeah, it was It was it's vice versa. So
so
other than
I don't think we're getting
those,
anything like that. But going up to 400 HP, a 400 HP Behemoth, a monster is pretty good. I'm kind of sad if the Cynthia's Roserade doesn't have Glorious Cheer. If it's called like Glory Yell, that doesn't sound as good. Glorious Cheer just
these are just proxies and rough translations done by the website. So who's to say what it'll actually be? Things that are translated correctly don't always come that way anyways. So hard to say.
One of the biggest fumbles, I think, was when they translated the Gengar from I think it's Lost Origin. They called the ability, it's called like Netherworld Gate or something like that. When in Japan it was called Creeping Back. That just sounded so sick.
Yeah, well,
like he's coming back from the dead. He's creeping back. He's back. And then another one is I think it was a Gallisopod that had an attack called Adversity Slash. But instead it got translated to Hard Time Slash. I'm like, ugh.
Adversity, hard times. What's the difference?
Adversity just sounds so sick.
Yeah.
Adversity.
And the only other things too out of these early like proxy translations, Energy Recycler's getting a reprint back for the 3rd or 4th time now, and then Sacred Ash is coming back for the first time in a long time. And the Sacred Ash,
up to.
Yeah, Sacred Ash is going to definitely be played in that Misty deck as well. So who's to say what other utilities or assets we'll see as these cards are announced slowly over time. But again, big thank you to JustinBasil.com for always having high quality, beautiful looking proxied images for us to take a look at.
Thank you, Justin. So yeah, those new cards are pretty interesting. I was team Hop, then I was team Ethan. Now I'm leaning towards Cynthia. I don't know. After I lose Dialga and I can't play Archaladon the way I want to, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play next. What do you find interesting?
I need to focus a little bit more present before I worry about the rest of these archetypes. I definitely I think the Cynthia deck is going to be pretty strong in general, being able to just Unga Bunga hit whatever, increase that HP up, plus being able to search for everything. I think we're gonna get with these last 4 sets this year in this like Scarlet and Violet era. I hope the EXs just go crazy. Now we don't have to worry about power scaling away from like tag teams into VMAXs and VMAXs into V stars. Now though, I think we can finally see the EXs like do some stuff.
I mean, we already have some ridiculous EXs, Charizard, Gardevoir, things like that. You want more? You want more like that?
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think
yes,
more, always more power. With a great power comes great Pokemon cards.
That's fair. Okay,
so,
I'll give you that.
I think the more powerful cards there are, the more fun decks you can have.
Yeah, it won't just be one deck. Like, think of NAIC last year. The top 8 decks, 6 of them were Guardy. 6 of them were Gardevoir. So that's no fun to see.
And the meta right now feels a little bit more wide in general. And we'll see how, the Western world adapts with these Champions League information breakdowns here. And once we actually know what happened at the SPE, the wall. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's stall. I think it's like attacking walls, because they do take prize cards. They do want to attack and take prize cards.
Yeah, they run a Ursaluna for late game. True.
Yep. So I mean, they want to take the prize cards and win the game. So we'll see what happens. We still have, all the cards from the set after Journey Together still unannounced. And Japan is just now starting to like mess with like end stuff. So we'll see what they do as we get closer to that point in time and we get our release in March. And we're a little over halfway through February. We got like a week and a half left. And then we're into March, and then pre-release will happen and all that. So
yeah, and then rotation's right about the corner. Like I said, the future is here, Steuben. There's no more waiting.
It's almost here. It's not quite there.
It's almost here. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode, right?
Yeah, I think that's we've covered a lot of different things and rambled and goofed off a little bit as always, like we always do.
I mean, that's what we're good at.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or wherever you find your podcast, please take a moment to favorite us, like the episode, leave a review on all those platforms. So that'll help us out, get back into people's discovery feeds. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for making it this far into the video. Make sure subscribe, ring the bell, like, comment down below, tell Gazer he's a stinky doo-doo face. Tell me that I'm a crazy dude with curly hair. I don't know, whatever.
I think you're handsome. I'll just tell you that right now.
I did trim a little bit today, so
I noticed.
Yeah, I needed to. But that's it from us as always. Much love, everybody, and hopefully next time we'll have some cool stuff to talk about. EUICs next week, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll get a guest, who knows, we'll see.
I like that idea. If only we knew someone who was going to EUIC who just like didn't mind being on the podcast.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
I missed that. You don't miss that? Let's bring it back, man. All right, you guys have a good night. Take care. See you. Goodbye, everyone. So long. For Rig Giraffe.